your dad in terms of showing his wealth, was that quite important to you in some ways when you're growing up, where it's almost like, because the only way I say was it important, because for me growing up, we didn't have a lot. So when my mum would get us something, we felt like, we would cherish gold a bit more. Do you know what I mean? My mum got me a sovereign ring, and I was like, wow, it's a sovereign ring. Look, I got a sovereign. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or my mum once got me a Ben Sherman suit. I wore it until I couldn't wear it anymore. So for you growing up and like
the same.
not having a lot of money.
Yeah, because the thing was, there was periods where, so my dad went bankrupt when I was a kid, so he was like doing all right, and then it's the same thing as what we were talking about at the top. Like, if you don't understand how the banks work, how they can lend you money and then ask for your house when you can't pay it back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my dad didn't know about that stuff, because he's a smart guy, but he didn't have that infrastructure around him. Family money to sort of, to keep him afloat when it went wrong. And I remember like bailiffs being at the door.
Oh man.
Yeah, but like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, they can take his money. Like, we kept our house. They took Dad's car.
Yeah.
And you just have to, and that's just what happened.
Yeah.
It's okay.
There's like ways of having those people come to your house that you see in your parents delay the process. Like,
well, my dad's really good at chatting. So he'd have been like, not right now. This isn't good for us. But so we kept our house. We had a roof over our head. People have got it much, 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 much worse. I tell this story in my book, and I think it's sort of a good example of sort of not only my relationship to money, or my dad's relationship to money, but I think sort of a good way of how my dad saw the world, and then how I sort of try and impart some of what he learned. When he went bankrupt, he had to come up to London to go to court. And so he was in court, and they were like, you've lost everything kind of thing. And so Dad was, he was at the start again, after working for 20 years, trying to build up his little company. Started off with being a coal delivery driver, then bought a couple of lorries. And that's his trade, lorries and things. And so he was in London. He lost, he didn't have any money. He was about to get the train back. One of his friends rang him on a massive phone it would have been. And he said, and my dad like sort of explained how low he was feeling, how lost he was feeling. And he gave him some directions. And he said, there's this bit of land that's for sale, and I'm wondering about, I need someone to go and have a look at it for me. Will you go and have a look at it for me? And my dad was like, okay. Sure, didn't really understand it, but it was his mate. He was asking him to do a favour. Dad was like, yeah, all right. Wasn't too far from where he was. And so he followed the details. Then he said, ring me back when you get there. And so he rang him back, and he said, mate, this isn't land. This isn't like, what is it? And the guy, my dad's best friend, who's still one of his best friends now, said, that's Great Ormond Street Hospital. All the people in there, their kids are sick. That's real low. You've just lost some money. Get on the train, get home, start again. Like that. My dad's mindset was changed. And it's about, having the perspective. And that's, some days it's easier than others to have perspective. We all feel highs and lows. But I think that was like a big lesson to my dad. And when my dad told me that, I found it really, it's good to appreciate where you're at and, and witness other people's, not that it's good to witness other people suffering, but, witness that other people are having a tougher time. So, things are okay.
And with this all kind of happening within the background of you growing up, I feel like, because then you hone into like your side of, because you're a class clown at this point in some ways when you're in school. So you join your youth theatre group. Yeah. How was that for you, of like feeling like now you can express yourself? You're not in the classroom anymore.
Totally. So like what you were saying about when you were talking about school and being able to be like totally free when you got there. That's how I felt about youth theatre. Did you do anything like that? Because I tried
I tried to join a youth theatre group once, but this was a bit later on. So I'd done it more when I was in college. So a friend of mine, his mum used to work at Oval House Theatre. So,
that's a nice theatre.
So she used to work there, and they had like a theatre group. And at the time, I hadn't done comedy at this point. So I'd done, like, when I say small stuff, I'm talking like we used to do it at this pub called Dulwich Hamlet in East Dulwich. So we do a bit of comedy on a Friday. And
so was this like just you and your mates?
Yeah, so me and a friend of mine, a friend of mine called Brandon was just like, let's just do a comedy night. So we was like, all right, cool. So most of the people coming was like our friends, and then people, because Dulwich Hamlet, they used to just, on a Friday, you could just use the pub and go to the pub. So we had a little stage, had a mic.
Did you get other comics on, or was it just two of you?
Just basically us.
No
just me
way.
and him.
That's
and
really
then,
brave. I think.
Yeah. So my first ever gig was an actual comedy night they had there. Then afterwards we would try and do our own one and just try and do some stuff and some material. But I did join a theatre group, but then realised that, like, I think for me, I always liked embellishing the comedy roles. Do you know what I mean? Any role I could be funny or silly, or like you're saying, do an accent and try an impression maybe. That is the stuff that I wanted to really try and hone in on. Whereas when I got to this group, it was like, we're gonna warm up and play Zip Zap Boing, and I'm like, I hear that, but when do we do the thing and the acting? And I felt like that first lesson didn't give me what I was like. I don't want to come back here again and play another game. If we're just like, I want to at least, even if it's like, let's improvise a scene and we're going to put you into groups, because that's the kind of drama that I would see at school. So a teacher would say, listen, you guys are going to get in a group. I'm going to give you an object. And in this object, you've got to create something out of it, a play. And it was so fun. You know, you get like a dice. And then, you know, two people would have to come out, cool, we're in a casino. Yeah. You've got the dice and I'm the person who's serving you. Yeah. And it'd just be so fun of how, like, improvisation, and I think that's where I leaned more into comedy. The improvisation I used to like more, because I was like, I could be really funny in this quick 2-3 minutes. Yeah. Let me try and hone that in stand up in some ways.
Because it's a buzz, isn't it? That's the thing, getting a laugh.
It's the best, man. It never goes as well.
No.
From when you're young to when you're now, like, we'll say now, like, where you're in a place where you're successful and you're on television or you're touring, but still going into a comedy club and you're like, oh, fucking hell, like, yeah. And someone's like, oh, you on tonight? And you're like, yeah. I can't wait to see you. And you're like, oh, shit, it's getting real.
And then it's the same as, like, when you got a new bit and you've got that, like, you're on the way to the gig and you're like, I think this bit's going to really work tonight. Oh, like, you know, it gives you like a little, like, this is, I need to get the rhythm of the words right. Yeah. And then when it works, it's kind of like you're a newbie again, because you're getting you're getting that shot of, like, ha.
do you do that thing where you do a new bit and a comic will be like, oh my God, that new bit, man? And you're just like, yeah, man, I'm just trying it, you know.
No, because I don't think I'm as cool as you. I'm like, thank you, thanks so much, cheers, thank you.
I tried something the other day, and then someone afterwards comes and like, oh man, your new stuff, man, it's really cool. And I was like, yeah, it's still getting there, but some ways to go. But
yeah, trying stuff.
Do you suffer with anxiety as well by being dyslexic?
Well, no, it's not about being dyslexic, but that is sort of the sort of thrust of the book, is about the fact that I've always had, from when I was a really little kid, I've always had anxiety, and it sort of shape shifts into different things. Like when I was very little, I was really worried about my family dying. I was really worried about my mum dying. I used to bunk off school to go and check on her. And I'm talking like 7 or 8. Like, not that I would be able to get out of school at that age, but like I would pretend to be ill so I could check that my mum was okay.
Oh wow!
And
that's so sweet, man. No, it's a good reason to bunk off, innit?
Well, I became really worried, and I found that there would be certain sort of intrusive thoughts that I wouldn't be able to get rid of until I sort of checked the thing. And then, you know, it happened again. Like I had sort of deep anxiety about coming out and about sort of being myself and about whether my family would accept me, even though they massively did. You know, they were lovely, but you know, the world is still, you know, a homophobic place in many places and in many ways. And so I was quite, I had a deep anxiety about that. And then, you know, in different moments in my life, whether it's like when I had my heart broken, there was, you know, huge anxiety there, or, you know, becoming a mum, there's anxiety there. And so it has been something that's like been a constant, like a low level hum. And so the journey of the book, what I've tried to do is that for a very long time, I fought the anxiety. Yeah. I fought it.
Because when you was young, you done musical theatre as well. Did that help with your anxiety?
Kind of. Like any kind of performing kind of helped it. Any kind of performing.
Because musical theatre, you're centre stage, man.
You got, yeah, totally. But I think doing any of those things did help me and help me find sort of a passion. But it's about, what I've learned is the moment I was more accepting of my anxiety and was like, oh, you just come and go. And you're kind of like, you're going to have to become a companion rather than an enemy, because otherwise I'll be fighting you forever. You're never going anywhere. That's just how my brain is wired. But as soon as I started thinking, well, it's okay that you're here, and that's all right, and you pop up and I have to notice you and I recognise you, and now you're going to step away again, please.
Owning it is very important.
Yeah.
With anxiety. Once you own it, you're like, But
it's with anything, isn't it? It's about like, it's owning, I feel like it's about owning anything you want to do. Like, do you remember the day that you were like, I'm a stand-up, or this is what I do? Having that ownership of what you want to do with your life, or, you know, I guess with your life, is that, you know, when you're brave enough to be bold enough to say what it is that you want to do, I think it can be really powerful. For you, like your own mental health and your own sort of sense of well-being. Yeah,
saying it out loud helps as well.
I think so.
It helps so much. I was reading a book recently, and they talk about how us as humans don't say enough positive things about each other.
Oh, I totally agree. And
ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't say like, no, you are amazing at singing that thing. And you know what is really weird is that Americans do it a lot.
Oh, so much.
When you go to the States and you come out of a meeting and they're like, oh my God, you're like one of the funniest people I've ever seen. And you're like, rah, am I really?
Yeah.
You come out of a meeting like, rah, let's go to more meetings. This is so good. It's not that we don't in the UK. I just think with the UK, like being, you know, like being humble, especially within this space, gets you very, very far. Do you know what I mean? Not to say you can be, because I think bigging up yourself too much, I just don't think we're not used to that in the UK, and we see it as ego. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that that there's that sort of saying of tall poppy syndrome of like they'll let people like build up and build up and build up, and then like they'll knock you down and be like, don't think you're above us. Don't get too don't get too comfortable. But I think you're so right. Like, I try and do it. I read a thing a little while ago. I don't know who wrote it, but someone did. And it was about how, like, be defined by things that you love rather than things that you hate. You know how people, like, especially like if you look at like the toxicity online. Oh yeah, man. Or, you know, so many people are, oh, I hate that thing. I hate that. Whereas it's such a better space to come from to be like, I love that. I loved that thing that you did. You really made me feel good. I love that piece of music. Oh, I love this song. I love this book. I love whatever the thing is. I think you're like, it's about finding that positivity. I think. I mean, also like, let's be honest. Like the world that we're in right now, it's really easy to fall down a rabbit hole.
I think
and
with
end
social
up,
media, man,
oh,
you have to. I think luckily enough in the last 3-4 years, especially after COVID, my disconnect with social media. Don't get me wrong, when I'm in it, I'm in it. I'm watching the funny stuff and I'm interested in a documentary on a crime thing, but shutting off from it within the last couple of years, a nice comment, a negative comment, someone that says something really personal that's so like heartwarming. Oh my God, thank you so much. You've been through this. You've come to my show. Because then I can find another comment that someone can then say, oh my God, how are you in this space? You are not talented at all. But taking all of it on. And I feel like it's just, I try my best to disconnect, man.
I think you've got to, because I think I wouldn't go in a pub where people were shouting abuse at me. Do you know what I mean? Because like, why am I putting myself in that space?
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't go in a pub where people are being really horrible and, you know, people be like, I hate you. I hate your comedy. You're like, okay, that's fine. You're not a comic. But like, well, my house tells me I am. Yeah. You know.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean?
I like that one. Hey, come on, that one was cool.
But you know what I mean? Like, you.
I gotta steal that one. That one was lively.
But you know what I mean? Like, you cannot like me. That's okay. You cannot like me. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that I'm not a stand-up or that I don't do. That's okay. You just don't like what I do.
Yeah. Yes, what's good, people? My name's Mo Gilligan, and you just watched my podcast highlights of the beginning, middle, and end podcast. Now, if you did like this, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you want to catch the whole thing, I'm talking the whole juicy thing, make sure you go listen to it on the Global Player or wherever you catch your podcast. Take care. Peace.